You know, I've been thinking about something that bothers everyone. It bothers me. It probably bothers you, especially if you've got a few gray hairs or if you've just realized that Christmas seems to come around every 3 weeks now. When you were a kid, a summer afternoon lasted forever. It was an eternity. You could go out, catch a frog, build a fort, have a war, make peace, and come home, and it was still only 2 o'clock. But now, you blink, and you're 30, you blink again, and you're 50. A year feels like a month. A month feels like a minute. Why? Is it just a trick? Is it just that you are busy? Or is there something deeper, something fundamental about the machinery of the universe and the machinery inside your head that dictates this acceleration? Most people will tell you it's biology. They talk about metabolism or dopamine. And that's fine, that's all well and good. But I'm a physicist. I look at the world and I see atoms. I see energy. I see information. And when you look at this problem, the problem of speeding time through the lens of physics, you find something quite disturbing. You find that your perception of time is intimately tied to the most depressing law in the universe, entropy, the tendency of things to go from order to disorder. But here is the catch, and it is a strange one. The reason time speeds up is not because your brain is breaking down. It is because your brain is getting too good at its job. You are becoming efficient. You are becoming ordered. And in the eyes of physics, order is fast. Disorder, chaos, newness, that is what is slow. That is what is rich. So, I want to take you on a little excursion. We are going to look at the jiggling atoms of your memory. We are going to slice up the sausage of space-time, and we are going to see if we can understand why the years are slipping through your fingers like water, and maybe, just maybe, how to grab hold of the faucet and tighten it just a little bit. This is not just about feeling nostalgic. This is about how reality works. If you want to join us in decoding the universe, and you want to see the world as it truly is, a buzzing, jiggling mess of wonder, then stick around. Let's find things out together. You see, we have this intuition that time is a steady thing, like a river that flows at the same speed for everyone everywhere. We think there is a giant clock on the wall of the universe ticking away. Tick-tock, tick-tock. 1 second for the baby, 1 second for the old man. But nature doesn't work like that. Nature is far more absurd. We learned a long time ago, thanks to Einstein, that time is flexible. It stretches and squashes. But we aren't talking about rockets moving near the speed of light today. We are talking about something much closer to home. We are talking about psychological time, which follows rules that are surprisingly similar to the laws of thermodynamics. To understand why time flies, we first have to ask, how do we know time is passing at all? Imagine you are in a room, a perfectly white room, nothing in it, no clock, no windows, and you are frozen. You can't move, nothing changes. The air doesn't move, the light doesn't flicker. Does time pass? Well, you might say, yes, of course, time passes. But how would you measure it? If state A is exactly the same as state B, there is no distinction. In physics, we measure time by change. We measure time by the rearrangement of matter. If you have a tank of water, and the water is perfectly still, and the atoms are just sitting there, well, they never just sit there, they're always jiggling, but let's say on the macroscopic level, nothing changes. It's boring. There is no history to write down. But now, drop a drop of ink into that water, what happens? The ink spreads, it swirls, it creates these beautiful, complicated clouds. It changes from a state of ink here, water there, to a state of ink and water mixed up. That process, that moving from order separated to disorder, mixed, that creates an arrow of time. That creates a history. Your brain is doing the same thing. It is a machine that records the swirling of the ink. It records change. Now, here is the simple analogy I want you to hold in your head. Imagine your memory is a movie camera, but it's not a normal camera that runs at a steady speed. It's an intelligent camera. When you are young, let's say you are 5 years old, everything is new. Absolutely everything. The way the sunlight hits the dust motes on the floor, you've never seen that before. The way a dog runs, new. The taste of a strawberry, new. Your brain looks at this input, this massive flood of chaotic new data, and it says, holy cow, this is important. I need to save all of this. So the camera in your head cranks up the speed. It starts filming at 120 frames per second. It captures every little detail, the texture, the smell, the light, the sound. It is writing down a massive amount of information. The entropy of the signal is high, meaning it's unpredictable. Now, fast forward. You are 40. You wake up. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth 10,000 times. You drive to work. You've driven that road 3,000 times. You sit at your desk. You know exactly what your boss is going to say before he says it. Your brain looks at this input and says, I know this. I know this pattern. I don't need to waste energy writing this down. I've got this on file already. So what does the camera do? It slows down. It drops the frame rate. It films at 2 frames per second. It takes a snapshot of you brushing your teeth, then a snapshot of you arriving at work, then a snapshot of dinner. It cuts out the middle parts. It compresses the data. Now, here is the kicker. Here is where the illusion happens. When you play the movie back, when you remember your life, you play it back at a constant speed in your head. The childhood movie was shot at 120 frames per second. So when you watch it, it plays in slow motion. It is rich. It is detailed. A single afternoon stretches out because there is so much stuff in it. The adulthood movie was shot at 2 frames per second. When you play it back, it looks like one of those old silent films where people are running around frantically, zip, zip, zip. A whole week goes by in a blur. You drove to work, you came home, you slept. That's it. 3 frames. You see? The physics of information tells us that the perception of duration is proportional to the amount of new information recorded. But let's go deeper. We have to go deeper because just saying the camera slows down is a bit of a cheat. We need to understand why the brain does this and what it has to do with the fundamental nature of the universe. We need to talk about atoms and probabilities. Everything is made of atoms. You, me, the air, the screen you are looking at. And these atoms are always doing the same thing. They are jiggling. They are bouncing against each other. In my lectures, I often talk about a box of gas. You have billions of molecules whacking into each other. If you start them all in one corner, that's order. That's a special state. But very quickly, they bounce and spread out until they are all over the box. That's disorder. That's high entropy. Now, nature loves high entropy. Nature loves to mix things up. It is very easy to mix things up and very hard to unmix them. You can scramble an egg, but you cannot unscramble it. Your brain is a physical system fighting against this. Your brain is trying to make sense of the world. It is trying to find order in the chaos. When you are young, the world appears to you as high entropy, lots of disorder, lots of things you don't understand. Your brain has to work furiously to map it out. It has to build the neural pathways. It is physically changing its structure to accommodate this new reality. This takes energy. This takes effort. And this high-intensity processing marks the passage of time heavily. But as you age, you build a model of the world. You create order inside your head. You create predictions. Let's use an analogy of reading a book. Imagine you are learning to read. You are 5 years old. You look at a sentence. You have to look at every single letter. C-A-T, cat, R-U-N-S, runs. You are processing the raw data bit by bit. It takes a long time to get through a page. The experience is dense. Now, imagine you are an adult reading that same page. You don't look at the letters. You don't even look at the words half the time. You scan. Your brain sees the shape of the paragraph and predicts the meaning. You are not reading. You are pattern matching. This is data compression. In information theory, we know that if a message is predictable, it contains very little information. If I send you a message that says AAA, AAA, and you know I'm going to send A's, I haven't really told you anything. The information content is near zero. But if I send you Q7X$9 liters, that is unpredictable. That is high information. As you get older, your life becomes a string of triple S-A. Your brain is efficient. It says another A. I'll just write ditto. Same as yesterday. It stops recording the jiggle of the atoms because the jiggle looks the same as it did yesterday. And because you are not recording the details, when you look back, there is nothing there to hold on to. The timeline collapses. Now, I want to give you a different image to hold on to. One that deals with how we view space-time itself. In physics, we often think of space-time not as a flowing river, but as a block, a solid block of existence. Past, present, and future all existing together. Think of it like a sausage. A long, infinite sausage. If you slice the sausage, each slice is a moment in time. Now, now, now. If you look at the sausage of a young person's life, the ingredients are wild. One slice has a chunk of pepper. The next slice has a piece of garlic. The next has a distinct texture. Every slice is different. When you look at the stack of slices, you can distinguish them easily. You can say, this is the slice where I fell off my bike, and this is the slice where I tasted ice cream. But look at the sausage of a routine life.